when streamers talk about like the challenges of streaming, it is literally you're always on. You're always on. You're always in public. Everything you do, and say your social media, which is where you would normally go. If you have a shitty day at your job, you go and bitch about it on your Facebook or Twitter. People will go, "Oh yeah, yeah, me too." Um, there isn't that. That doesn't exist. That's not a real thing. It's not a. It's not a complaint. People often take this as, oh, look at them bitching about their great job. No, social media is a great job. There's nothing else like it. It's like halfway between work and celebrity. So don't get me wrong. You don't want to do something else. No one on earth can identify with what you do on social media unless they do it on social media, because it's different than everything else. It's not harder. It's not woe is me. Everybody fucking gets this wrong and they're so uncharitable. And it's like, guys, we're not saying that. We're saying that there is this set of challenges. There is this reality. The thing with social media is this, though, because you're always, always on. And the majority of what you say during the day actually gets broadcast to the entire world. Like, most of you probably don't speak for 5 hours a day. I don't speak for 5 hours a day if I'm not on stream. All right. It's a lot of time. So when you start talking about like how much time it is, you just speak and speak and speak, and everything you say is there and it's recorded forever and people can find it. And like, maybe you can do something about it, but usually not. It's there. Even if you like want to take it down or whatever, someone's got it. It's archived somewhere, whatever it is. And that's not the worst thing, in all honesty, but it's also frustrating because it's like you don't have a moment's respite. You don't. All of the things that people would retreat to are your tools for business that are watched all the time. Cool. You have to learn that and try and figure it out. But the vacations, if I could and appropriately set the expectation in the schedule, if I were able to, I would recommend a 4-day to 1 week vacation, literally on social media, literally every month. If you can't do it every month, 2 months, every 2 months. I know that sounds like a lot. Now, what can those be? Can it be a complete disconnect? Vacations I've taken with Lady Raggets, just her and I put my phone in a drawer. Ideally, yes. Practically, no. No. But can it be you're going to go to a convention for 2 of the 7 days, and the other 5 days are going to be your decompression? Yes. If I could predictably schedule that every month at most, every 2 months at least, that there would be a 4 to 7 day trip. And I talked about this all year. That's what I wanted to do, and I couldn't make it work. And I'm glad I didn't, because people got so frustrated about the amount of breaks that I did take, even though it was like 3 out of 7 planned. But all that said, I would strongly recommend someone who wants to seriously do there's different ways to do social media. The way I do it's 5 days a week, but it's live stream, so it's long. Someone who's recording, they record for 2 hours and editor chops it up and puts it out. It's different. But if you're doing this like live stream thing, like 3 to 5 days a week, you should take time every month to 2 months and just put your phone away as much as you can. Now, if you have to go, well, I'm going to be away for 5 days, but I want 2 of those days to be like, here's a reason I'm going to go to this place, because I've got a convention or I've got a speaking engagement or whatever. I'm going to collaborate with another creator in real life. Great. Take those 2 days and do it. Take 3 days off. Take 5 days off. Do it. Make it predictable. Make it so your audience knows when it's going to be all the time. That's the thing that I've been bad at. Very bad at. And people are like, if you work a normal job, you're like, that's a lot of trips. That's a lot of time off. And it's like, well, yeah, but a normal job is different because your normal job has an escape, which would be the job that you're doing on social media, which doesn't have the same type of escape. To get away from the world, you have to leave the world. To get away from work, you engage the world. Does that mean that, like, oh, you're working so hard, you're gonna be fine if you don't do that. But if you can figure that out and do it and plan for it, trust me, like for mental health, how you approach problems and topics and just decompressing, it's really, really good to get away from what you do every day. Because even when you're not streaming, you are on social media. You're researching topics, you're researching trends, you're talking to people, you're networking, you're engaging your audience, you're doing all of these things whenever you're on social media. You're never not working, ever. So if you go do those things, and if you can, do it. But it's all about setting expectations. I made a mistake a long time ago. I set expectations of I would do 5 streams a week, and then I would also do extra streams because I had the ability. My schedule's changed so dramatically. My energy has changed so dramatically. My focus on extra streaming things, family, marriage, volunteer work, or whatever, all of those things have changed. And it has impaired my ability to do what I would have done 2-3 years ago. Like, I know that. Like, I know the amount of time has dramatically changed. I used to play Twitch every day after every stream. I used to play video games. It's on Twitch all the time. Now I'm on Twitch once a week. Very simple, easy to observe thing. But like, people also forget, though, that while I was streaming a ton and all over the place, they forget that if I did not have a legal topic, I would not stream at all. I wouldn't do one. So now they're like, how, like, you miss a stream or whatever. It's like, no, I used to skip streams all the time. Because you were gone? No, because I didn't have a legal topic. I didn't have a case. I didn't have a thing. And I thought, you can't do that. And then it was a couple of years ago. I was like, no, people want me to stream whether I'm covering a legal topic or not. So I'll try and do that. Blah, 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 blah. Wasn't that the goal, though, to get big enough to not need that? It's not about need, Rock of Horror. That's the thing. It's about setting expectations. People can shit on Dick Masterson all day, and I welcome you to it. This is unrelated to his activity, but Dick does 1 podcast a week for The Dick Show, and he makes almost $20,000 a month doing 4 shows a week. Total, 4 shows. That is amazing, amazing success for 4 live streams a week. It's like 8 to at most, 16 hours? 8 to 16 hours a week. Make 20 grand a month. Pretty fucking good, right? Combined with that, biggest problem, which keeps growing, that's now 1 show a week also. So 4 additional shows a week. And that's making like 8-9 grand a month. I don't know. And it's going to keep going up because it's building a product. 4 a month. Sorry, 4 a month, whatever. So let's say you work 8 days out of a month and you make, I don't know, $25,000 a month. Now, if Dick wants to go on a vacation for 4 days, most people would have no idea, right? Because he broadcasts at the same time, or he can move the broadcast one day or another in either direction. You can do that. Someone else will broadcast 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days a week, make 25 grand, make 10 grand, make 5 grand, make 0 grand, or make 100 grand. Like, you have no idea how much money some people make on YouTube doing it. But the amount of work that they're putting in sets the expectation. Is the show going to be daily? It's going to be weekly? It's going to be monthly? What is it going to be? You have to figure that out. You have to figure that out and then determine what the best thing is for you. But I will tell you that the best advice I can give anybody trying to get into any social media content creation is find your ability to create consistency and then stay with it. Aussie says daily hurts, though, especially if you don't have protections in place. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, you can do daily activity and more activity than pretty much anyone you know and get a lot of attention. Everything will be great. But then when you stop that activity and you change your schedule, even for a week, even for 2 weeks, people are like, what are you doing? You're not streaming enough. You're not doing your thing. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. And you're like, you want to resist it. You're like, I'm working really hard. I'm doing this, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, stop. You're being defensive about the reality here. The reality for you is that you're like, I'm doing all these things. But the reality for them is you set a schedule, you set an expectation of 5 shows a week, and now you're delivering 3. And then you're going to take a week off. Well, you already reduced it from 5 to 3. Now you're going to take a week off. You're going to take those 3 off. You set expectations. And it's a whole different world managing that thing. Is it impossible? No. People do it all the time. Can you change it over time? Yes, you can. In so many ways, it's so much less than the daily grind. They're way different concerns. But I got to tell you, the pressure that comes from live streaming 5 days a week or more it's intense and it's unavoidable. And nothing compares to it. Nothing compares. Does it mean you can't endure it? No, of course not. Does it mean it'd be easier to be an oil rigger or a deep sea drill technician? No, of course not. Stop it. Keep doing this. It's just a different type of thing that you have to deal with. And it will catch up. No matter how motivated and happy you are, no matter how great things are going, it will catch up. Something will catch up. And the reality is this, and I keep talking about doing this thing, and I'm gonna start doing it. It's been the pressures of life have made it difficult to do this extra stuff, but I am going to do the creator resources videos. One of the creator resources videos is very simple. It's managing your relationships, not just your friendships or your work relationships or whatever, your marriage, your parents, your kids, all of that stuff. They are not you. They're not you. You can be ready for everything the internet will do. You can have a plan for every course of action. You can be the smartest motherfucker on the planet. You are you. Someone else who you may not even think of is going to get added into the mix, and then they're not you. So the pressures you face, you're like, I got this, whatever. And then someone else, they'll call you and be like, hey, this thing happened to me. I don't know. They're talking about you. It's like, why would they do that? I don't know. They just did. Are you okay? They're like, well, my boss wasn't really happy. Whatever it is, no one else is you. You can prepare you. You can never prepare other people. It's impossible. That's another pressure. It's another reality. And sometimes, like, those are the breaks that you need to take. You're like, oh, you need another break. It's like, well, no, I don't. But, maybe someone else does. Or maybe some other things need to cool down or speed up, or work needs to be done, or connections need to be made. And sorry, that means shows aren't going to happen in those things. It's a lot. And you don't know what it will be, because it won't be what you think. What you think is easy. What you think and prepare for is easy. Set your expectations, set your schedules. Don't try to do what I did, which is, I said for a long time, I'm going to try and create more content than any one person can consume, and let people try and live up to the challenge. You can't keep doing it, because you are working and they are not.